BitChute has announced that they will be leaving the United Kingdom. And this is in line with a lot of things that are going on with the lack of freedom of speech in the UK. I feel for you. It feels like the UK is falling, similar to along the lines of Australia, and that they are in lockstep with each other's political moves. And it feels like Australia is almost like the California of the United States when it comes to the UK. Like Australia makes a rule, and then it feels like UK is like, oh, what are you doing over there, Australia? Oh, you're limiting this, you're limiting. Okay, we'll do that now too. It's very, very weird. It's very weird. Pirate Nation has said the free speech video platform Bitshoot has had to totally discontinue its service in the UK due to Online Safety Act. Oh, I'm from the government and I'm here for your protection. You know, the Online Safety Act. WTF, man. All right, let's check it. After careful review and ongoing evaluation to the regulatory landscape in the United Kingdom, we regret to inform you that BitChute will be discontinuing its video sharing service for UK residents. The introduction of the UK Online Safety Act of 2023, that was 2 years ago, has brought about significant changes in the regulatory framework governing online content and community interactions. Notably, the Act contains sweeping provisions and onerous corrective measures with respect to content moderation and enforcement. Yikes! Yikes! Like, if you were a citizen of the UK, this is when you talk to your government officials and be like, bro, what are we doing over here? In particular, the broad enforcement powers granted to the regulator of communication services, Ofcom, have raised concerns regarding the open-ended and unpredictable nature of regulatory compliance for our platform. Now, I'm not calling, and nor will I ever call for overthrowing a government, but I will say the road that the UK is going down sure sounds like an overthrow of a government is just a matter of time away if they continue going down this road. Let me see. I'm kind of in the way of this. Let me move myself here. There we go. The Bitshoot platform has always operated on principles of freedom of speech, expression, and association, and strived to foster an open and inclusive environment for content creators and audiences alike. However, the evolving regulatory pressures, including strict enforcement mechanisms and potential liabilities, have created an operational landscape in which continuing to serve the UK market exposes our company to unacceptable legal and compliance risks. Despite our best efforts to navigate these challenges, the uncertainty surrounding the OSA's enforcement by Ofcom and its far-reaching implications leaves us no viable alternative but to cease normal operations in the UK. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, like, straight up, people might say, oh, it's BitChute. Who cares about BitChute? No one uses BitChute. Well, first off, yeah, they do. Like, a lot of people still use BitChute. But secondly, when I read this, I'm like, okay, that strikes me as a massive domino that is about to fall. And when it does, what's the next domino in line? And how long until it gets to a massive outlet like YouTube? And you might think I'm ridiculous for saying that, but if Google is held liable for what people upload to YouTube, Google would pull out of the UK if they assessed the value of what are we making based off of what are the concerns, how much we pay out. And if YouTube pulls out of the UK, could you imagine the uproar, the backlash? Like, I almost feel like that would be a political statement in itself if Google was like, hey, you need to either revoke and remove this UK Online Safety Act of 2023, or we are pulling out as well. And if they did that, and UK was like, no, we're not revoking it, this is what we did. And Google was like, all right, fine, we're just going to completely shut down YouTube in all of the United Kingdom. The fallout from that would be insane. Insane, where everyone's videos just cease to work. The content creators losing out on their revenue, their careers would be over. Like everything would completely self-destruct. It would be insanity. It would be mayhem. I don't think people really are giving this as much oomph as it deserves. Like it is absolutely insane. Hey, I want to find out about this BitChute news. And wouldn't you know it, this is the wildest thing. So I searched on Google, BitChute UK. I'm like, oh, I need to find a news article to back this up. Okay. I type in BitChute UK and we get February 17th, 2023, BitChute Wikipedia, BitChute limited overview, company's house, government.uk. And then we get the notice from BitChute that I just talked about. Reuters, new video sharing sites thrive on misinformation and hate. What is this? A Reuters special report. Reuters is supposed to be like unbiased, financial based information. This reads like a Kotaku headline. What the hell is this? New breed of video sites thrives on misinformation and hate. BitChute and Odyssey serve up conspiracies, racism, and graphic violence to millions of viewers, taking advantage of big tech disinformation crackdowns and the rise of Trump. The sites reflect a new media universe, one where COVID-19 is fake. Holy shit, this was back in 2022. Whoa. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Russia fights Nazis in Ukraine and mass shootings are false flag operations. So they want to shut down open thought. They want to shut down conspiracy theories that always seem to end up being proven right after 6 months. They just want to control the narrative. Like, sure, if there's a crazy person and you listen to him, it's like, okay, people have the right to speak. This is crazy to me. Weston Hudson says, laugh my ass off. You thought Reuters was unbiased? Heck nah. They're just better at hiding it. I mean, I typically look at Reuters as like the source of where information begins in the financial world. And it's typically heavily relied upon. But this is not that. It's pronounced Reuters. I always call it Reuters. And also Ephraim. If they're going to be writing articles like this, I'm not going to pronounce their name right either. But that is wild. Okay, so I did that, right? Okay, cool. There's not any recent news articles. So check this. When I click the news, look what happens. The 2022 articles, the first one. The next one, The Guardian from 2022. BitChute website to continue hosting blocked RT channel. The next one from 2020. Inside the UK-based site that has become the far right's YouTube. Man, this sounds like a certain ex-Kotaku journalist talking about a video hosting site because they disagree with what gets uploaded there. Damn. Let's check this one out. Let's check this one out. This should be interesting. Inside the UK-based site that has become the far right's YouTube. Not censored equals far right, says Hat Nut Seed. As mainstream social media platforms respond to pressure to ban extremists, the far right has found a new home for hate and terror. Dun dun dun. Who is Lizzie? I always love to look these people up. Who is this person? What the heck? Support? No, get out of here. Lizzie Dearden was the Independent's. Not even working there anymore. She was the Home Affairs and Security correspondent, writing about extremism, terrorism, crime, policing, and legal affairs. Apparently, she wasn't needed anymore, and her job was just not important. It's fascinating how there's no like seeming news pushback against this. When I searched for the news articles to find out what's going on about it so I could cover it tonight, everything was taking an angle of, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, this is a bad site because far right extremists. No one's like, what about like the ability for people to be able to speak their mind somewhere? Does anyone care about that anymore? Is that not a thing? And that is the greater concern with it, because that's these hardcore lefties always have the same approach. They are NPCs with chips put in the back of their head and told how to think every single time. And this one's no different, where they're like, oh, BitChute is bad. Yep, UK is doing the right thing, getting rid of it. Like, all right, just wait for the next thing to happen and the next thing. I thought it was a wild story, not necessarily because BitChute is going away in the UK, but what it means for free speech and the ability to express yourself online and for others to interact with you. Because even if I don't agree with someone, I will always fight for their right to look like an absolute retard online. I will fight for their right. I want everyone to know how stupid they are. I think that's very important. Because when you start silencing that, it's actually when these people actually start looking for ulterior motives and doing it in the actual shadows. And that's where the concern really is. But, yeah. Anyways, I'll leave that one there.